I don't know.
Hold on,
All I know is I have the chai tea latte runs, so
I have to log it back into this thing again. Oh gosh. I have to log back into Twitch so that I can see that we're live. Please hold.
Oh yeah, the 18 extra steps.
Yeah, you know, because every week or 2 weeks or whatever, I usually like clear everything, clear cache, clear cookies, and all that. And
the Twitch partner curse, man. Now that like it matters, I'm like, whenever I'm on my main Twitch account, I'm like, oh god, I have to log back in every 30 days.
Yeah.
I went to stream. I go to stream. It's like, hey, your code has expired. I'm like, is it worth it to stream then? You know, once you make partner, you don't got to do anything anymore. You're just like, I'm a Twitch partner.
Right. Exactly. I mean,
there's only like 35,000 of us.
I mean, yeah. Listen, actually, I should probably stream one of these days since I guess I do have. Just to make
we
sure
should
that
stream on
Twitch
this channel.
Partner.
You can't lose Twitch partnership.
Oh, you can't? I thought you could. All right. What do I know? I know nothing. All right.
They'll send you a message if something goes up, and then it'll just be like, oh, okay, whatever. But yeah, once you're a partner, you're a partner.
All right, cool.
You can lose it from like
just for funsies.
Dude, I didn't stream for like 2 years. Like, they don't give a shit.
And you still had it? All right. Okay. Well, you know, listen. If you don't know, now you know.
Now you know.
I didn't know. Yeah. Now I know that I didn't know.
So right now there's Twitch Partner Plus and there's Twitch Partner Plus Extreme and Twitch Super Mega Ultra Street Fighter Edition Turbo.
Okay. So there's levels.
And it's all based on subs, because of course it is. Also, Twitch is raising their sub price to $6 a month. Which, it doesn't, I don't think it matters. I don't think anyone who could spare $5 a month is not going to be able to spare $6 for Twitch subbing. Like, I don't think that's a thing. But I think it's going to affect, like, gifting. Because I think the difference between gifting 5 subs for $25 and 5 subs for 30 is huge now.
That's a big difference, yeah. It is a big difference.
So, like,
it's a whole extra $5. Yeah, it's a whole extra $5.
But what are you going to say, right? Who cares?
Listen, start it from the bottom.
I don't even know how Twitch is still. Twitch is alive on the back of Kai Cenat. Like, I know, you know, like, and occasionally Asmongold will be like, it's Hassana B, Kai Cenat. It's always so funny to me that, like, the most conversation you ever hear about Twitch is, like, in the public is, like, titty streamers, right? Like, they were talking about how there was the colonoscopy meta, and then the oiled up boob meta. You know, like all the metas of, like, yeah, like the most viewers any of these Twitch chatterbait streamers have is like 7K, which is a lot of viewers, right? Like I never had 7K. I had a couple hundred. I never had 7K at my heyday. But I mean,
7K, that's
7K is a lot, right? And Kai Cenat's pulling out a solid 200 fucking K. Hassana B goes live to watch like a C-SPAN conversation to 200,000 viewers. Like, come on. Like,
yeah, I mean, yeah, listen.
When I was dating my ex, I used to tell her, like, you have a significantly lower floor than I do. Like, but you have a ceiling.
How did she take that? Yeah, I was gonna say.
No, like, because she was trying to, like, expand, and I was like, show off your titties. I'm like, show off your titties. She's like, okay, and then I'm like, no, more titty. She's like, there can't be more titty. I'm like, there's always more titty. Like,
okay,
yeah, and like, I'm like, just kick in, like. Triple down on playing to the camera, triple down on all of it. She was like, she didn't, you know, she really didn't want that. And I was like, look, you do what you want to do. I don't care if you succeed or fail. Like that, I want you to succeed. I'm just telling you that you are choosing a path that I cannot choose. Like that, I don't have that choice. I can't be like, yo,
There might be.
Who wants to see my feet? You know, I can't do that on Twitch.
On Twitch, no, that probably wouldn't work.
On Twitch,
it wouldn't work.
I could do it on Tonelyfans.
I mean, somewhere else, you could make that work.
You know, we've been saying Twitch a lot. Hi, Kick.
Right.
We get any of our viewers on Kick?
To our one viewer on Kick, hey, we love you and we appreciate you.
It is currently one, yes.
And it's not me, and that means a lot. All right.
How was your week, Goofy? How was your week? It's not me. It's not you because you don't have a Kick account.
I mean, that's true. That's true. It's a good week, man. Listen, my Boston Celtics won, so
to the surprise of absolutely nobody.
What they gonna say now is what Jason Tatum said. I'm gonna ask you the question. What they gonna say now? Here comes the haters. Here they come. Oh no!
The last time the Celtics won was the year I was born.
No, that's not true. You forgot 08.
Yeah, I did. Yes, I did.
You forgot the original big three: Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen. You forgot where
I did. Yes.
You forgot where LeBron got the idea to get Chris Bosh and join up with Dwayne Wade. You forgot that part. He got a big three so that he could beat the big three. That was the thing.
I'm sad that my Mavericks lost, but I'm happy.
I'm thrilled.
But I'm happy that the Mavericks even got there because they had no business being there.
That is incredibly true. Denver, I'm gonna say this. Denver dropped the ball. It was supposed to be their repeat year. They dropped the ball. 100%. They dropped the ball. I'm not sure the Celtics would have won if the Denver Nuggets made it there, but I don't know. It kind of is what it is. I will say this though. What made this?
They would have won.
They probably would have.
They would have won.
They probably would have. No, I don't know if the Celtics would have beat the Nuggets. They're actually, to be fair, they probably would have played Jokic the same way that they played Luka. They would have said, the rest of your team is not good enough. We're going to make you go one-on-one, and that's fine. If you score it, that's okay. You can't score 70, 80 points. So we're just going to win. And that's exactly what it is that they did with Luka. They were like, listen, you're not going to score 50, 60 points on us. You're going to get tired. So
the first 35 are all yours. 36, sorry, because they're all threes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're going to step back into that three every time.
Every single time. But the rest of it, though, like, listen, when the time you get to the fourth quarter, you're going to be gassed. And the rest of your team is not going to be there to pick you up. And that was the game plan. But what made it more satisfying to me was everybody that picked the Mavericks to win the series. Oh, that felt good. That felt good.
After game one, I was like, we ain't betting.
Yes.
We ain't betting. I want the Mavericks to.
Yeah, no, remember we talked about it on Friday before we went live. We were just like, oh, okay, here's game 4. The Mavericks won a game. I'm like, they're not. I remember I told you, I was like, they're not winning another one. No. I was like, they're not winning another game. This is it. The Celtics didn't care. They're gonna come back home. They're gonna finish it off. They just didn't want to win in Dallas. It's over. It's done. But honestly, though, I'm far more interested in what happens now with the NFL. So I'm a little sad that basketball is done and I have nothing else to talk about because I don't care about hockey. How's that series going? Isn't it like 3-2 now?
Maybe.
I heard it I think I saw it on Twitter. I was like, honestly, only thing I know is the Panthers. I don't know what state they're from. I have no idea. Where they're from? Oklahoma Panther. I have no idea where they're from. I just know that the Panthers are leading the series and they were up 3-0. And I think they've lost 2 games to the Oilers. I have no idea where the Oilers are from. I have no idea what state the Oilers are in.
Goofy?
Yeah.
I have a tab open right now.
Mm-hmm.
This is very findable information. I have no interest. I don't care.
I'm asking you just in case you had the prior knowledge. I didn't expect you to look it up.
I'll follow the playoffs until because I don't have any particular team for hockey. I just really like hockey, but I have a couple of teams I follow. And when all those teams are gone, I'm just like, oh, I don't have to care anymore. All right.
Yeah.
There's no sports. There are no sports right now.
I don't.
Baseball.
I think
this is baseball opening day in 7 minutes.
Baseball, whatever. I mean, talk to me. When do they do playoffs? Is October, September, around that time? Yeah, I'll care then. That's when I'll probably watch a game. And then I'll watch the game and I'll say, oh, wow, this is why I don't watch baseball. Okay, bye.
Baseball has a 17-day off season.
Oh, that gotta be hockey. Hockey's off season is the worst. They only get like a short period of time. I feel like hockey goes all year round.
Baseball is 192 games.
192?
Each team plays 192 games. Maybe I'm making that number up. Maybe I'm not. You don't know.
I can't validate.
You can't prove
tell
it.
you whether or not it's wrong or not.
I used to try to defend baseball to one of my friends, and he was like, "Bro, baseball's not a sport." And I was like, "Oh, come on, it's a sport." He's like, "Baseball's not a sport, dude." And he changed my mind on it. He got me. You know how hard it is? I'm stubborn. You know how hard it is to change my mind. He was like, "Bro, could you play back-to-back basketball games? Could you play back-to-back football games? Could you play back-to-back hockey games? No, you know what you can play back-to-back? Hopscotch. Checkers. Games." And I was like, ugh, gross. He's like, also, name another sport where if you're tired, someone can run for you. I was like, that would hurt. That would hurt, man.
Too savage.
That would hurt me. As somebody who grew up playing soccer, baseball, and basketball.
Yeah.
Like those were the three sports I played growing. And eventually I upgraded to lacrosse because the whitest man.
You're kind of combining a few sports there. You know, there's a little bit of hockey. Yeah. There's some football in there. I mean, you combine some sports.
As somebody who grew up like playing those, if I had heard those words as a kid, I'd have been like, "Yo, fuck baseball." But I was too late. I was already so deep into baseball.
Oh man. I used to love baseball as a kid. Like I'm telling you, in elementary school, 3rd, 4th grade, I was a huge fan of baseball, man. I used to watch that, practice that. Never actually played a game, but I used to love baseball. And then
I still go to the batting cages, man. For no reason.
That's kind of cool. I've never been to a batting cage.
36, 37-year-old dude. No helmet because I don't care. Steel bat. Just cranking 70s. Fouling them backwards every time.
Every time. That's not a bad thing to do. But I've never been interested in ever since the Big Papi era ended in Boston. I was like, what's keeping me here? And they've won a couple of championships since then. What have they won? They've won 2 championships since then. They've won.
I know of 2.
Yeah, they won 2 of them. There was like one team that was like not a premier team, but they were just really good. They played really well together, and they were a scrappy team that won the championship. And then I remember like the David Price, Chris Sale. Actually, I remember that series. I think it was against the LA Dodgers, right? There was like a series, there was like a game that went like 17, 19, 18 innings or something like that. Something crazy with like Evaldi pitching. So there have been some series where I'm like, oh, this is good. But apart from postseason, there really isn't much to keep me watching baseball. It's just, there's nothing entertaining about it. Now the pitch clock is in the game, so the pitch clock makes the games a little bit faster. So that helps out a little bit. But overall, I still think it's a very long, drawn out. I wish the game was only not 9 innings, but maybe it was 5 or something like that. I guess the games are too long. I just think that they're too long, not doing really much of anything. That's all it is.
Because
that's how I feel about it.
Baseball is not supposed to be a sport. It's supposed to be something you do when you're drunk. I think we talked about this like last week.
I thought it was golf, but okay, all right.
No, golf you do while drinking, not while drunk. Not the same.
Fair. That is fair.
Baseball.
Okay. There's a difference.
Dude, there was a period in my life where all it took was a text message to me, to be like, "Yo, I got tickets to a baseball game," and I was like, "We're going. I'm gonna get drunk. I'm gonna sit in the bleachers. I don't care where we're sitting. I don't care how much it costs because baseball.
We're not going to the game until the third inning, but all right.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah, we're missing all of the traffic. I gotta get lit. Like I'm fucking insanely drunk walking into wherever, dude. I don't care if it was a AAA game. Like the double A game. Like any team, we could be like the Newark Bears. Like all right, sure, fuck it. The baseball. They got booze, right?
The Mosquitoes. This matchup.
Yeah. The silly nannies are facing off against the election deniers. Like what? They really don't give a shit, do they?
Right.
Same game, same level. Like people always.
I hear you.
It's always my favorite when they're like, "Yo, it's a different skill level." I'm like, it isn't. Like it can't be. Like I feel like skill level is exclusively based on. I feel like it's exclusively based on the pitcher, because there's really good pitchers and there's people who can't hit really good pitchers. And I think if you can hit a curveball, you're there. Like that's the like.
The thing about it is they've changed the game up. And they've changed the game up a lot, right? So here's the thing: like back in the day, there was some mechanics to pitching, and the rules were a little bit more conducive to some like exciting gameplay. But now there's like switches in the game, so if somebody's a pull hitter, then everybody can switch over to that side on the defense. That to me, that's whack. Like it's kind of boring because then it takes away runs in the game. And then with pitchers, they used to, like back in the day, like they used to be some really in shape pitchers and were very creative with not just throwing. Not everybody just throws 99 miles an hour though, right? Everybody just throws 99 miles an hour, Like back in the day, there was a little bit more finesse. That's where you had like the Maddoxes and the Pettits and, those type of guys that had good mechanics with their pitches, and it made for some fun matchups, right? Now it's just like, what the hell? Like
it's funny that you said Pettit, because Pettit was like in shape and thin, and then like CC Sabathia is the other guy I think about, where I was just like, yo, CC Sabathia I've seen him walk to the mound with a hot dog. He's like, yo, let's go.
CC Sabathia looked like me going out there pitching the ball. Like, and that's the thing about it, man. Like, back then, that baseball was exciting to me. The Mariano Rivera's, right? Like those type of guys that weren't just power pitchers, but there were some mechanics that made it exciting, So to me now, I look at the game and I'm like, everybody just throws 99 miles an hour, and that's pretty much basically the game. It's not fun anymore. There's no nuance to it that makes it exciting. It's just who can hit for the most power, who can throw the hardest. And that's it. That's
a lot of it is still the like. Again, it's another sport, and I think we could kind of put the nail on this one. It's another sport.
The plane.
Yeah, that's like, you know what? We have so much technology at our hands right now that we can determine absolutely fucking everything. We can determine if it's safe within a half of a second. We have the camera angles. We have lasers, we have radar, we have replays, we have so many things that we can use in every sport, and the everybody's like, nope, regular 50 and 60-year-old men are going to be making these decisions. Nah, we need the oldest guy on fucking record with glasses to be behind home plate calling strikes. Where like we'll see it. It's worse when you're like watching on TV, because like you'll watch it, you'll be like, that was the most strike I've ever seen.
Right.
Like that is clearly a strike. That is like the box is there. They'll put the box up. You'll be like, oh okay, and then like, ball. You're like,
ball. Yeah.
No, that was my guy.
But that part of it, I don't mind though. I like the human element. I think the issue is that they're putting too much of the analytics because the analytics is driving pretty much basically what everybody does now. That's why everybody hits for power. That's why the reason why everybody just throws 99 miles an hour. That's the reason why, so to me, like everything is driven by analytics. And I feel like I miss, oh gosh, I'm going to sound like an old person now, but I miss the old days when, the game had a little bit more feel to it, where managers didn't really manage the game based on a stat or analytics, but it was based on a feel. And now it's just, like I said, it is a little bit of a boring game now to me, and that's the reason why I'm not really truthfully excited about it or watch it until really postseason. And really, truthfully, not unless my team is in it.
Everything we love sucks. Everything we love sucks. Goodbye, everybody.
The bottom line is everything we love is terrible. Terrible.
All of the things that we enjoyed growing up are worse now. And what's even worse is only a small amount of that is nostalgia goggles. Like surprisingly a very small amount. But
speaking of terrible, the Thunderbolts, I'm kidding. No. The Thunderbolts.
we don't know that it's terrible yet. All right, we're just assuming. But it did finish recording. The Thunderbolts is officially done. Because of an interview with Julia Louis-Dreyfus where she said, like, yeah, we're wrapped. So they're in post-production.
She has a new movie coming out, I believe, this month, by the way. Or maybe it already came out. I might have missed it.
She is 63 years old, bro.
Oh, I'm telling you. I just watched the episode where she danced in Seinfeld, and I'm telling you, that thing just never gets old. The thumbs.
Yeah. Yeah. I never watched Seinfeld like when it was Seinfeld. I've only seen it after. I had some friends who were like obsessed with it. And I appreciate it for what it was, but I remember like it would be on TV, and between the I was just like, I don't have the patience for this shit. Like, now it's the same with The Office. Like I've seen The Office now. I didn't see it when it was live, and I like The Office. I just don't love The Office the way a lot of people seem to, because there were shows like that I just thought were better. Like Parks and Rec was such better, like all around than The Office.
Yeah.
But like when
did The Office come out again? I'm trying to remember. That was
2007.
I'm checking. 2005. I'm trying to remember, what was I really into in 2005? 2005, that was 20 years
Legos.
ago, right? Yeah, it was like 20 years ago for me, bro. I was in my teens, man. Like, I didn't care nothing about The Office back then.
Community, rewatching Arrested Development.
Arrested Development was good. I couldn't really get into those shows back then, but Arrested Development was also good. Parks and Recreation was good. Years later, though, and this was like significantly amount of years later, I did like Superstore. Like Superstore was my show.
I couldn't watch it live, but I fucked with it after it. Like I watched every season of that. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah,
I loved all of the characters in that show. It took me a while, but it ended up being like it grew on me, and man, we really can't talk about anything Marvel this week, can we? We got nothing to talk about.
There's a decent amount of things to talk about. It's just we're gonna go off on tangents, so
we have to almost, because like we're in the Deadpool waiting room, right? Like
we are. Yeah,
that's it. Like we're T-minus 30 days, like I think 28 days or something until Deadpool comes out. It's the only Marvel movie this year. We've said that a million times. We know it's not gonna suck. It can't suck. Like I don't even mean like it can't like some kind of like, oh, if it sucks. Like I just can't imagine a world where it sucks.
Yeah, same here. Did you see like the projection? Like I think the projection they're saying that it might hit $1 billion just based on what the opening number for like tickets or sales. I think is it already up to like 200 million, I believe. Am I mistaken?
The current opening weekend ticket sales, which are starting I think on Wednesday night. So it's Wednesday.
People have already
Thursday,
Friday. I already got mine, right? So I know I'm.
No, I mean like I think that they're doing an extended opening weekend. It's not just Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's now Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I don't believe that was originally the plan. I think that they are, like, I think they last week we were talking about how they were projecting it. I think they hit it. I think they had 200 million opening weekend in pre-sales. So like something has to happen on that day one, and like you gotta believe that there are gonna be, you know, Wednesday if the first showing is Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time, Wednesday at 6:05 Eastern time, bunch of YouTube videos are gonna drop. You know what I mean? Bunch of YouTube videos are gonna be like, yo, spoiler-free review, this movie fucks.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are gonna do spoiler-free review because they're gonna want people to go. One of the things that I realized happened with it was the Guardians that it happened and Spider-Man, I believe. A lot of people came out and just did like no spoiler reviews and were just like, yo, listen, I don't want to ruin it for you because it's that good. Go see it in the theaters. Like, go see it. You know, and it's almost like it kind of makes me feel like the movie has to be good for the audience, for the audience, to the creators to come together and say like, you know what, I'm not gonna say anything, go watch it and then we'll talk. Other movies, people are just like, yeah, whatever, we'll spoil it. Here's what happened. This sucks. This was good. This was okay. But a movie like Deadpool, people are gonna be like, no, go watch that movie first, and then we can have a conversation about all the things that were damn good about it.
My personal opinion, is that, and we've kind of tapped on this for a while.
Yeah,
I think that all of phase 1, 2, and 3 was already more or less planned.
Okay.
Like from day one. Like I believe, like I don't think that every story was written. I don't think that every title was exacted, but I think that they knew from the
end goal.
Feige knew from the second Iron Man was like on paper, this is the story he wanted to tell, and this is how it would go. And as movies were added and as it became more popular and as they got more Disney access, they were like, okay, we're gonna up it. And again, they weren't all victories. Like we can like they weren't all great, but none of them were heinous. Like not Thor: The Dark World was boring, but it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
Eternals
it wasn't
boring. You know,
wasn't
like
egregious. It was just like, well, that wasn't good.
And then I think that post Endgame, I agree, Jay. Post Endgame,
good point.
Hi,
Anti-Valor, by the way.
I think that was the beginning of the Disney, like, okay, now that your plan is done, we're gonna step in. And Disney was like, so we're doing great. So now let's start
shows.
We have to do these shows. We have to modernize things, which is a 4-letter word in my book. Every time I see the phrase modern audiences, I just immediately assume it's dog shit. Like, there's a difference between like modernizing something and then like making it for audiences that don't exist, which is what modern audiences are. Audiences that don't go to fucking theaters. If you like be accurate, like, how many times you got to theaters this year? You know what I mean?
Right.
And again, like, you have to think about the
Deadpool.
demographic of who goes to theaters,
Deadpool.
right? Like kids, couples, you know, on date night. It's not a very common thing. But like Marvel, to a lesser extent now, Star Wars, but Marvel has a very strong built-in audience of people between the ages of 18 and 35. That is the demographic. And again, that's not saying people younger and older don't like Marvel stuff, but that is the built-in audience.
Yeah.
That is the people who... Spider-Man No Way Home. How many kids saw, like children, saw Sam Raimi Spider-Man?
Children? None.
No, I mean,
or maybe they saw it as like a build up to, all right, well, we're getting now.
No, I mean, like at the
No Way
time,
Home.
like when that movie came out, like 2001 or whatever it was.
At the time, I would. I mean, if you were to force me to give a percentage on it, I would probably say maybe 10% of them, right?
Sure. How many young kids, like, you know, anyone under the age of 15 we'll call a kid, because 15 you're a teenager, you know. Anyone, how many kids do you think saw The Amazing Spider-Man? Probably less, right?
Yeah.
PG-13 movies, right? Probably not as many. How many kids today under the age of 15 do you think went to see No Way Home and recognized the other two Spider-Man? Zero. The answer is zero.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
they weren't alive. Those are fucking adults. Those aren't teenagers either. Those are fucking adults.
Right.
Make movies for fucking adults, the ones who are going to pay money.
Right.
And this is an R-rated movie.
Mm-hmm.
It officially got its R rating this week. It didn't have it. They were just saying it was. Yeah, it got its official R rating.
I just assumed it was already going to be, you know.
We knew that they were making an R-rated movie, but they didn't give the official rating out for the reasons. And it's strong language, consistent violence, you know, like, yeah, gore, blood, like cursing, like strong language, like, okay. That's why I got an R rating.
Yeah.
This movie is going to make a shit ton of money.
It's gonna make
because
a lot,
it's a movie made for the people who spend fucking money.
Yeah.
Make your movies for the people who spend fucking money. If I'll make a deal with Marvel right now, I will never shit talk. I'll like actively criticize, but I will never shit talk your TV shows if that's where you choose to use your experiment. Right? Like if you choose to experiment on your Disney Plus shows to see like if it's interesting, like this is an idea, maybe it'll play out on your TV shows, not for 180 fucking million, but like, you know, for like 50, 60, 70 million dollars for a TV show, for an 8 episode TV show.
70 sounds too high, but okay. Yeah.
180 sounds too high, but that's
180 is offensive, but yeah.
I wouldn't have liked the Eternals if it was a TV show, but I clearly would have.
You would have accepted it a little bit more. You'd have been like, oh, okay, well, they tried a thing.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier wasn't a great show.
Yeah.
But it was a fine show that ended shitty. It was fine, exactly. And it ended shitty.
Part. Yeah.
WandaVision was good. Loki and Loki 2 were great. Loki 2 didn't end great, but it was still good. Like, What If is great.
Loki 2 seemed like a band-aid, so what they already knew was coming up. Yeah.
So, like, you know, TV She-Hulk, I'm gonna be significantly less like I'll be critical. I'll still look at something and say like the story wasn't great, the acting was good or bad. You know, like I'll still do that, but I'm not gonna sit around and say like Echo is the worst piece of dog shit that's ever released if I know that the TV shows are where they're gonna
experiment,
have these conversations,
right.
Focus on a story, but they're gonna give amounts of fucks to the like. Again, I'm gonna go back to Star Wars, not for Star Wars sake, but just to explain. Star Wars has what's called 3 levels of canon. This is I don't know what Disney fucking did, but in Lucas Arts Lucasfilms when they were doing Star Wars, there was 3 levels of canon. There was canon A. Canon A was the movies.
Okay.
Whatever happened in the movies happened. That could never be undone or changed.
Okay.
So if you want to know the story of Star Wars, there are 9, well, 6 technically, but 9 movies that tells you the story of Star Wars, right?
Mm.
Then there's Canon B. Canon B are the TV shows and books. That's what Canon B for Star Wars
comics is that, or just like regular books?
They have real stories, real books.
Okay.
That's Canon B. That is still canon, but it's not. If it says something that contradicts the movies,
yep,
it's wrong.
Okay.
Even novelizations are technically canon B. Like if you read the novelization of Phantom Menace, it's still only canon B, which doesn't make sense, but like it's the same way. Like you have your TV shows, then you have your behind the scenes director's cuts, and then you have your commentary. And then canon C is like your video games, your like tie-ins, like Lego, like anything Lego related, Star Wars, like those they take place, that does happen, but it's not official Star Wars story. It is just Star Wars characters in their own stories.
So basically, you can kind of ignore whatever happens there. It's just something that you watch for fun or enjoy for funsies.
Yeah, and you will find that the majority of Star Wars fans throughout history love the canon C more than they love the canon B, more than they love the canon A. Like, it's the reverse. So, like, the more of like, you watch Star Wars, you're like, oh, okay, lightsabers, Jedi, the Force, bad guys, we're red, got it, okay. Then you get into, like, the books, and you go, oh, shit, there's intrigue and stories, and people actually have fucking lives. This is a real fucking universe. Then you get to the games, and you're like, wait, why isn't there a movie about this fucking guy? Why isn't there the movie about Darth Revan, who fell and then was fucking lost his memory? He was a Jedi who fell and then lost his memory and then refound it and then was reborn as a gray Jedi who can now balance the Force perfectly. Like, that's, you could get fucking 13 movies about this. There were 2 games about this, and they were both fucking great. Gotcha. One was great, one was good. The idea is like, that's simple. Marvel doesn't have that right now because the movies and the comics are already independent.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
And again, like, we want to nitpick, right? The Marvel universe is not the 616 universe. It doesn't matter that they said it is. Like, that's what it is. Like, I get why they did it, because someone's like, well, the main Marvel universe is 616. We're going to call it that. But it's not the main Marvel universe. The main Marvel universe has been and always will be the comics. And very specific comics. That's why it's the 616 universe.
Right.
The MCU is not the 616 universe. It could be the 616B, but it's not, because Ultron was created by Tony Stark. You know, like, small thing, but like, that's a big deal.
No, but it's different, yeah.
And I'm cool. I think it was originally like the 19999 universe or something like that.
Yeah. which I thought
Oh,
was something that they were going to stick with, and of course, it's also something that, if I'm not mistaken, like in the Spider-Verse movie, isn't that what Miguel O'Hara mentioned in the 1999 universe? So,
yep.
there's Sony's at least seeing it that way.
Sony, well, the Sony universe is clearly 0.
Yep.
Or -4.
Yeah.
How many bad Spider-Man movies they've made that,
Luckily, their animation has saved them somewhat. I don't know. I mean, their animation
Marvel doesn't
movies,
have that. Marvel doesn't have that level of canon. They have the movies, the TV shows, the comics, the video games, Marvel Strike Force, somehow. She's its own fucking thing, baby.
Mobile gaming.
Like, mobile games, yeah. And then, like, weird stuff. And, like, there was a 90s X-Men cartoon, 90s Spider-Man cartoon put on by Fox that was technically in the same universe as the X-Men 97, but also technically not in the same. Like, what? Marvel doesn't have any form of breakdown of continuity where if you like the Marvel movies, you watch the Marvel movies, and you're like, okay, I watched the Marvel movie. It's a good popcorn movie. I enjoyed it. My girlfriend, my boyfriend, my kids, my parents, like whatever. Like, okay, cool, I'm in. But you can't really dive. That's the problem with Marvel versus Star Wars. I can't do a deep dive. I can't, like, Deadpool's coming out, right?
Yeah.
I can't, like, we could talk about, like, Deadpool comics. We could talk about stuff because, like, people might want to know more about Deadpool. But that's not going to give them any information about what's going on in the movie. It can't. It like Thanos successfully snapping away half the universe was not the plan. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
a time heist was not in the comics. Like, that wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
So they're clearly doing their own bullshit, which is great.
Which is, yeah.
But if they had that separation, like, listen, the movies were giving it our all. Because they did. They weren't all great, but they all led to something.
Yep.
The TV shows, they're little stories. They're just tiny little, like, we might introduce a character in one. We might catch up with a character we haven't seen in a while in one. If you don't like it, honestly, that's okay. That's not where we're at. Where we're at now is everything they put out is dog shit. Deadpool is going to be good. Stop making Eternals. Stop making Ant-Man and the Wasp. Stop making Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Get your fucking shit together. Figure out what your 3-arc story is going to be. Yep. And then, I don't care who you hire. I don't care if you want to hire a director because they're cheap or they got a recent thing. Great, get them. This is the story you're telling. Your vision tells this story. We don't care if you have a different vision. They fired Edgar Wright for that, and Edgar Wright's a phenomenal fucking director because he wanted to tell a different story. Go back to whatever that is.
No, I don't disagree with you. I think you're right. I mean, going back to what you had said originally, which is, make movies for people who are paying money to go watch movies, right? Deadpool is a movie, and let's be careful, right? Because we don't want to say, all right, well, Deadpool is a R-rated movie, and that's what adults want. No, that's not necessarily what we're saying. What we're saying is that we want mature stories. We want stories that are.
We want to laugh a little. We want to believe in a character. We want to be excited for what's happening.
Correct.
Nobody can tell me they walked away from the Eternals and were like, oh, I can't wait for a sequel. The best you might hope for is like, yo, a lot of shit got fucked up. You got to tell us what to do. And then just, of course, not tell us anything. Forever.
Right. Yeah. So there's so much writing on Deadpool. Deadpool 2 is not just good because it's just Deadpool and it's R-rated and it's Wolverine. That's not the reason why, because that's not the reason why we watch Winter Soldier. That's not the reason why we watch Civil War. That's not the reason why we watch Endgame or Infinity
Guardians 2.
Guardians 2. Like that, it's not. It wasn't because of the rating. It was because you told a good story about either an individual or a group of people that had struggled that we could somewhat reflect on or at least see and understand. You brought them through a proper progression that made sense. It wasn't made up like Captain Marvel. Like there was a proper progression of the character, and
that's why they were good. That's not why we saw them. We saw them because we were interested. Yeah. Because Winter Soldier takes place, and they were like, "What if they?" All they told us was like, "What if Hydra never was defeated?" Mm-hmm. That premise with what we've already had seen in the past, we're like, Bucky's still alive? Let's do some research. Oh, Bucky is the Winter Soldier? Fuck. I want to see this.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange? Hey, I'm Clea, cast by Charlize Theron. We got some multiverse shit to do. Do you ready? Bloop. That's what he said. He sounded like a Muppet. Doctor Strange.
Dark Dimension. Let's go.
Yeah, you fucked up the multiverse. Let's go to the Dark Dimension. But the Dark Dimension is not in. It's. I don't. Okay, cool. When are you going to give us more information on that?
Never.
Fucking. That's what TV shows are for. Secret Invasion was an opportunity to set
what
up.
Was that? What did you say?
Oh, there was a show they released called Secret Invasion.
I don't recognize that.
Yeah, it was basically Nicholas Fury at a retirement home. You ever watch The Mule with Clint Eastwood? It was just
that's what we're comparing. That's what we're comparing this to. Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Does make me wonder though.
What?
So you're married to a Skrull, right?
I see where you're going. Okay.
He had to have asked her to change into Black Widow at least once, right? Like, come on, like.
I did not see that one coming. Okay.
He had to be like, yo, real quick. He got DNA scraped off the fucking battlefield of everyone during the invasion, and he didn't go to his wife like, yo, could you do Steve Rogers but with a vagina? I just want to know. I got it. Like, they just dropped the ball. Like, they just had there were so many things.
Secret Invasion was, and this is one of those things where, like, I always go back to, okay, I don't necessarily need you to stay the source material, but at least like stay source material adjacent, if you don't mind.
No,
go ahead.
Go off.
No, because the whole story of Secret Invasion, I get it. The Avengers weren't there anymore. It didn't really make sense for them to be there in the Secret Invasion TV show, and I completely understand that. However, part of like the whole excitement of Secret Invasion, at least the comic book story, was you never knew who could potentially be a Skrull, and that was really exciting for an audience that's reading that story. Oh crap! You trying to Jarvis is a Skrull? Oh, Maria Hill? Oh my god! All these Captain Marvel, like all these different characters that were Skrull. Oh, that's not really the Luke Cage. That's not really Captain America. Like all these things that were so exciting about it. There was no suspense. You knew in episode 2 who all the Skrulls were. Like you knew who the Skrulls were already. You would just say, oh, so they're all the Skrulls, the council, and then we can assume anyone that's associated with the council may also be a Skrull. Like we already knew that. There was no suspense involved whatsoever. Also, the premise and the background was more powerful than what we got from the Skrull that were refugeed on Earth. Although I will say this though, it did work. I think the background of why they were upset worked. Nick Fury abandoned them. He told them that he would find them a home. They didn't find them a home. So now we're angry and we're upset. Fine with that premise. However, their non-suspense and knowing who all the Skrulls were, never really there being a plot twist that we could say, oh, they're screwed now. Like, also basing the entire story off just Nick Fury and Maria Hill, who then you killed off in the second episode or first episode. And then you didn't, tag in any other heroes. We just made Gaia like a super powered hero in the MCU. Now she's the most powerful superhero in the MCU.
Age of Ultron took the title of a series that was run. That was the focus on what happens if Ultron took over, and managed. It wasn't true to the story, but it felt like if they were doing a single movie, that was really good for what they were doing for one movie. They could have done an entire arc during the Age of Ultron, but they chose to do it in a movie, and it felt right. Civil War wasn't the same, but it was similar. And it was similar enough in Civil War that you got the feeling of the title. Okay, so the idea was that, like, some people thought they needed to have... Actually, and I'll be very clear, I think that in the movie Civil War, they did a much better job of balancing Iron Man and Cap than in the comics. Yeah. Because in the comics, like... there was no one on Team Iron Man that wasn't an idiot.
Yeah.
Like, you had to be an actual, like, you had to be an Iron Man fan, first of all, and then so absolutely stupid that, like, you couldn't see that he was clearly wrong here.
Yeah.
Like, clearly wrong in this situation. Like,
you were kind of made to hate Iron Man,
and
in a lot of
they
ways.
tripled down on that. The entire story, they were like, every time someone allied with Iron Man, it fucking cost them. Like, everyone who was on the side of like pro registration were the bad guys, and they all were punished for it. Pete, fucking the Fantastic Four, like, everybody was fucking punished. Like, It was clearly obvious that this was a conversation that was not supposed to be like, this is a balanced thing. This is like government oversight versus government control. And oversight was never the problem. And again, even Steve in the show was like, listen, in the comic, he was like, look, people, we can't trust a government agency to have this information. But if the government wants to empower us or a group of us to work for them to do this, we're fine. And he's like, that's not, and Iron Man was like, no, fuck that. That's too reasonable. And Steve was like, cool. Like, then he got shot with a time bullet by Crossbones because fucking what? Comics are weird. But either way, like, Secret Invasion was the only thing they got right in Secret Invasion was that Skrulls were involved.
Yeah.
That's it. They missed everything else. And they really haven't missed in any other way other than that. Like, they've never like Moon Knight, like, they didn't, give anything, but like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, it's an original story because it had to be, but it was a pretty decent retelling of what happened when Sam took over the mantle of Cap after Cap, got shot by a time bullet. Actually, I don't remember if that's when he took it off or when somebody extracted the super soldier formula, so Steve just became an old man.
Did he die from that? I'm trying to remember. That was Crossbones that did that, right? No, was it Crossbones?
Crossbones shot him with a bullet that displaced his consciousness in time because they shot Captain America and were like, fuck. What do we do? There's no
We get
Captain
out.
America. Yeah. I'm sorry. I just want the Blade can't cut through development hell up. We're not going to talk about it. I just like that chair.
Nah, what is it to talk about? It's not happening until 2035. Or either way.
2090.
Yes.
Blade is the new Kang.
Yeah.
Speaking of, you hear he got a job? Jonathan Majors?
Jonathan Majors, I heard.
Yeah, he's in a
something.
movie now about some kind of supernatural thriller or something called. It had the most basic name I've ever fucking seen. Hold on.
Hey, listen, at least he's getting work.
Yeah, he should be getting work, man. Jonathan Majors lands first movie role after domestic assault conviction. Merciless.
Merciless. I feel like there's a movie that already has that name, but okay.
All right, well.
Huh.
Revenge thriller Merciless. Per the Manhattan judge who presided over the 2-week trial, Majors must complete a 52-week in-person program in Los Angeles. So it is unclear how... And again, for what it's worth, I don't condone anything he did, but I understand it because I saw the same fucking video. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't condone anything he did, but that was the same thing that happened with fucking Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. If both people are shitty, it is net neutral. Like that.
Yeah. Sure.
If one person is abusive and the other person is retaliating, that's not the same.
Right.
If both people are shitty and they're together being shitty together, that is a completely neutral situation. So I don't think that Jonathan Majors did anything right. I just know for a fact his girlfriend also did the same amount of things wrong. Like the exact same number, down to and including fucking violence.
The violence is a big one.
I think if anything, I don't know why I've said it before. I don't know why Disney fucking fired him over that conviction. I get it. But also like they had complete control over that. You know, like they could have made sure that he had significantly better attorney. Like it's Disney. They have the money and the lawyers. Like the whole thing, the idea of like, yeah, go ahead, try to take Disney to court, right? Like it's the last person to try was what's her name? Johansson, and they still settled. But you know what I mean? Like, and she had a good case, and Disney's lawyers are like, yeah, how long do you want to be in court for? Because like when I die, someone will replace me to take up this case.
Yep.
Or we'll give you like $12 million or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I don't remember what the number was. 42 million. I don't really remember.
I remember what the number was. She got paid well. Probably not.
But also,
probably not what she probably would have gotten otherwise. But she got paid well.
So the prevailing theory, again, this is just a theory, is that she knew she would never come back to Disney.
Yep.
Because Ryan Reynolds was now gonna be in Disney. And she and Ryan won't fucking work together.
Yeah.
Like they're cordial enough. I think when they talk about each other, they're like, yeah, good, you know, happy to see they're successful. But they truly fucking hate each other. So I think that like once she got wind that like, oh, they're doing Deadpool, oh, he's going to be probably a big part of what's going on forward, I'm not going to run the risk of having to do a movie where we're together.
Yeah.
So she's like, let me get my paycheck now. And then I'll let my husband, Colin Jost, you know, the joke writer on SNL, carry the rest of the time.
I mean, she's been doing some movies. I mean, she's in what is it, Flying to the Moon or something like that with Channing Tatum? But I'm like, listen, I am going to watch that movie when it comes out on streaming.
They're not the same.
Scarlett Johansson. She's in a skirt.
There's not the same. It's not the same. If you're telling me that she's been in movies, remember, the Marvel fucked the entirety of movies up, and then Disney had no idea what to do with it, because every studio was like, dude, remember when we were young, and the generation before us, like Gen X,
yeah, movie
stars were a thing. Bro, I'm not going to watch a movie because Chris Hemsworth's in it. Unless it's on streaming for free. You know what I mean? Like, unless I can get it for free. You can't convince me. The last great movie star is Tom Cruise. There's a little bit of an argument for The Rock.
The Rock is more... I mean, who do you have? Right, you have Tom Cruise. There's Denzel.
Tom Cruise is the last movie star. Tom Cruise is the last actor that it doesn't matter what movie it is, his name on it would bring people to be like, oh, I'm gonna watch this. Whereas like
Leonardo DiCaprio was there, yeah.
DiCaprio, yeah, okay,
yeah.
DiCaprio probably up there.
DiCaprio, I think Denzel back. Not too. Those are guys where you.
There's
say,
a bunch.
Okay. Where you're like, oh,
there's a bunch.
There's a movie. I'll give it a shot. I'll be honest with you. Like Tom Hardy had a run too, where you just like anything that Tom Hardy was in, you're like, I'm giving this a shot.
Our generation was on the tail end of it, and like the generation after us, there's no movie stars anymore.
They don't care. Yeah.
There's no movie stars. Honestly, currently the biggest movie star in the world is Sydney fucking Sweeney, and there's two reasons for that.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't bring myself around to watch her movies, but that's to each their own.
I watch her movies, I just mute them. Fucking, am I gonna do listen? The idea is simple. Like
you and I are different. I guess that's Marvel. That's the case.
Marvel doesn't make movie stars, right? They don't. Yeah. Like they don't. They make movies that make money. You were never gonna make the money with nothing Scarlett Johansson does now is gonna pay her as much as she got paid for Black Widow. Yeah. And that movie, and like I'm talking about like post settlement too, like Avengers. What's it called? The Endgame shit? How much do you think she made in that movie? Double-digit millions. You think she's getting $10-15 million to be in whatever movie you just said she's in with Channing Tatum? No. You think Channing Tatum is getting that kind of money? Absolutely not.
Definitely not.
The money is different. Marvel changed the game. And,
they did.
And now the game is kind of changing back, because now Marvel can't afford. They even said like they were happy with the money they were getting from like Robert Downey Jr. in movies. They weren't happy with the paychecks they had to write to Robert Downey Jr. Okay,
I mean he's
who's gonna carry it now?
Yeah. And remember, me and you talked about this last week. There is no one right now in the MCU that is carrying, and that's an indictment, in my opinion, on them. Like you have to have someone that is carrying the mantle. In the first phase 1, 2, 3, you knew it was Tony Stark, Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr.'s character. It was Captain America. You had Chris Evans. Chris Hemsworth was there. in this current phase 4, phase 5, we have yet to establish who the main people are. We don't know who they are. You might be like, oh no, we can say that. Nope. There's nobody. There's a bunch of characters. There've been a lot of people who have been introduced. There's some characters that a lot of us would like to be the focal point, but there is no clear.
It could have been Doctor
point.
Strange, but it can't be Doctor Strange because he's corrupted by the Darkhold. Can't be him.
Correct. It can't
could
really
have been
Spider-Man because
nobody knows who he is,
right?
Yep. So it's not Spider-Man. It's not Shang-Chi.
Not Shang-Chi. No.
Shang-Chi doesn't have the gravity. It's not Sam.
No. There's no.
It's not.
They may want to anchor it and start it off with Sam, but it's gonna. You're gonna have to. His movie has to be introduced, and it has to be really good and very
clear
who it could
have been?
Say, yeah, it's him.
You know who it could have been?
Reed Richards.
Paul Rudd. It's not Paul Rudd now.
It's definitely not him now.
It's definitely not him now. Paul Rudd sacrificing himself for the Kang arc would have been it. Because then when he comes back, this isn't the same. This is still, like, can't be Peter Quill.
Peter Quill is done being Star-Lord, kind of.
He's in Missouri.
With his grandpa. Yeah, it can't. Well, Scarlet Witch, we already know what Scarlet Witch is, so there was never any question or doubt about that.
Who did they build? Who did they build this? It's not Thor.
It can't be Captain Marvel. It can't because no one likes her enough.
Thor's raising a kid who also is a deity, but like a real deity, not like a fake god.
Yeah,
it's not Thor. Thor's got shit to do. Also, Thor of Love and Thunder ruined Thor's character permanently.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Who is it? This entire phase had to build. Is it Captain Marvel?
No.
It's not Captain Marvel. Remember when she destroyed a planet and then the person who wanted revenge? I don't remember her name. Stacy. You know, she just kicked the shit out of her too.
Name, okay.
And then she let her friend go into another universe? Yeah, it's not her.
Oh, there is, and that's my point. There is no one that is. They have not put this phase on anyone's back. No one. There is no one that is carrying this. Loki. Well, technically, Loki is isolated, holding multiverses together.
They're gonna have to introduce Reed Richards, and immediately. The other option is, and this is a good option, I don't think they're going to do it, because this is smart. The other option is, instead of doing the team come together, team work together, team fail together, team come bounce back that they did in the previous arc, instead, they do bunch of idiots fail, lose big, bunch of idiots are built up to have to make up for it. Bunch of idiots come back. Bunch of idiots win. They could do it that way. Because that's kind of where we're at right now.
Yeah.
Like, everyone sucks. Every single person up to this point in the MCU is in the worst shape they've ever been in. Period.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're about to get the Thunderbolts movie featuring some bad guys.
Suicide Squad.
Yeah, literally the Suicide Squad. Yeah. Change nothing. So I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on that I'm interested in. We talked last week about the guy who was like, Brave New World is probably going to be a bigger movie than people are giving it credit for.
Yeah.
Like a more important movie. Whether it's good remains to be seen. And again, we're not even talking about whether Deadpool is going to be good. Do you know why? Because we know.
We know it's going to be good.
We know it's going to be good because we know what we're getting. Our expectations are fart jokes and murder. When you go into a movie expecting fart jokes and murder, like that's every episode of Rick and fucking Morty, right? Like that's every episode of Rick and Morty. And like I'm expecting a burp and someone to die. Whatever I get on top of that, wonderful.
Yeah, somebody definitely gotta kick the bucket. If somebody kicks the bucket, I suspect it's probably gonna be Wolverine. They're gonna find some way to manufacture that. Because they're gonna make way. Moana, make way, make way. All right, let's move on. No, they're gonna find a way.
I don't think Wolverine dies. I think my personal opinion, my belief on Deadpool. I haven't seen it yet, so this isn't a spoiler. Like I don't have pre on that. I believe the action that disintegrates the Fox universe at the end of this, like whatever action it takes,
yeah,
is going to bring Deadpool in, and everything else goes. His wife is gone, which they're not even dating anymore. I think Deadpool has to make a choice at the end of this between saving his reality, which is the extended, X-Men universe from Fox, or saving all realities. And I think he's going to make the choice. And I think that's going to build his character going in to the future of Marvel stuff.
Okay.
Because he's going to be incentivized to be like, I have to bring him back. Because remember, there was a line that said this Wolverine failed his universe.
Right.
To that Wolverine.
Yeah.
We don't know what Wolverine that is. Is that the Wolverine that couldn't prevent Charles from going nuts in Logan? Like, is that Wolverine? Yeah. Is this that Wolverine from a different time, like earlier than when we saw him at Old Man Logan?
Is that Wolverine the one that couldn't stop Phoenix from killing everyone? Is that the Wolverine that are they following the comic storyline where Mysterio tricks him or someone tricks him into killing a bunch of his friends? Like the Old Man Logan? We don't know.
I suspect at the end of Deadpool, we're going to be left with good questions.
Yeah.
Not questions that are like, oh, where are the Celestials going? Oh, what's happening to the multiverse? Hey, why is, like, I don't know that that's happening. I believe that we're going to get that those universe, like, everything's gone.
Yeah.
I believe we're going to watch Eliath eat the shit out of all of the Fox universe, like, live.
Mm-hmm.
And Deadpool is going to be, like, that's it. And his entire arc going forward is going to be, how do I get back what I lost?
Okay.
That's my suspect. What do you think?
No, I mean, I think that's a good one. I think this is just a setup for Secret Wars, where it's like, okay, we're number one, we're destroying the entire Fox universe. Like, we're Xing that crap out. Those people don't matter anymore. We're done. But then along those same lines, I think Deadpool, Wolverine screw up some other things, cause some more incursions, right? And then those incursions ultimately lead to some sort of connection, team up, discussion, interaction with probably like Doctor Strange or someone of the sort, which then eventually leads to a story of, okay, now we're going into Secret Wars. Those are my thoughts, as to where we're going, because we know Secret Wars is supposed to be kind of like this unifying. Yes, we understand Battle World, all that, but it's really supposed to be like this unifying sort of arc where you're bringing in a series of characters together, villains, heroes, for to eventually lead up to this one common outcome or goal or thing that they're trying to fight for. So that's what I expect Deadpool to at least open the door to, is for Secret Wars to kind of come after that. Like it to be like this unifying multiversal sort of event that propels us into Secret Wars. Although there are going to be multiple other stories that are going to be involved, I think Fantastic Four is going to be a part of it. I think there's a couple other stories that are going to tie into it all. But that's what I think about Deadpool.
So that's a good idea. I think that's close, because I don't actually see Deadpool being a part of Marvel yet. Like, I think he's going to be in the universe.
Yep.
For like bits and pieces, but I think that whatever the end of the movie's going to be, he's going to be displaced. And I think that's going to be I think you're right. That's going to be like the beginnings of what Secret Wars is.
Yep.
I do feel like that's kind of shitty if they're like, oh, and then here's the ending of the show in a post-credit scene that lets you know that we're 4 years away from the culmination of this fucking story.
Yeah.
Like, don't do that, Marvel. You suck at that. You didn't tell us we were 4, 5, 8 years away from Thanos. Yeah. Thanos was this cloud overlooking us that we never knew when he was coming, but we knew that we were going there.
Yeah.
We know Secret Wars is coming. You already spoiled that for us. You told us Secret Wars is coming. You told us it's a 2-part movie. Stop trying to build Secret Wars and just build the story that we want to follow. Like, oh shit, we need to know more. Because right now, we're like I've said, I don't think Deadpool needs to fix everything, but it needs to right the ship. Because right now the ship is iceberg. Like, needs to face it. The only other thing about anything this year is that Alex P, same guy we talked about last week, who gets information. We're closer to Marvel Zombies releasing than we were last year, which is coming. We don't know, but Eyes of Wakanda has the highest chance of releasing this year, followed by Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. This was tweeted on June 19th. So 3 days ago.
Okay.
And then on June 18th, the Spider-Man show was confirmed for November. So the day before he tweeted this, they confirmed that the new Spider-Man show is coming out in November, the animated show. So this is all the animation.
Okay.
So that means either we're getting a very hot release of Eyes of Wakanda, like in the next, because Agatha is September, October, I think, right?
Yeah, September.
September, yeah. Well, Antivirus was saying Shuri and MSF. If there's any tie-ins, it would most likely be because the Ironheart series was supposed to be out already.
Go ahead, I'll be right back.
Most things are tied to that. Benedict Cumberbatch has confirmed that he will start filming Avengers 5 next year, which was the Kang Dynasty and now is nothing. Cool. Ralph Ineson, the guy who's playing Galactus, states the Fantastic Four script is cool as fuck. I mean, that's... I feel bad because I want to take that as like a good thing, but then, this is going to blow your mind, who's the guy who did Guardians? My brain just farted. Oh no. James Gunn. Sorry, brain fart. Total brain fart. James Gunn went live on the internet. He didn't have to do this, and tweeted, "The Flash may be the best movie I've ever seen." So, and if you've seen The Flash, it's not even better than the movies he's directed. And I'm not even talking about the Guardians. I mean, like, Slither was a better movie. Did he never see Slither? Did he ever watch Guardians of the Galaxy? Because The Flash was not good. Not only was it not good, it was very bad. In a lot of ways. As a Flash fan, I could tell you it was bad. As a movie watcher, I could tell you it was boring. As someone with eyes, I could tell you they were assaulted. It was not good. It didn't do anything. It didn't set up anything. It wasn't quite like Aquaman 2 bad. Right? Like, Aquaman 2 was really bad. But also, Aquaman 2 had no expectations. So, like, when I saw Aquaman 1 was fine. It was just dumb, but it was fine. Flash has one good thing, Keaton's Batman. Yeah, but they fucking ruined Keaton's Batman. Jay? Right? Like, there was, like, no parts of that Flash movie. There was, like, the premise was cool, but, like, Ezra Miller is just an unlikable twat. So whenever I see Ezra Miller, I'm like, oh, I don't care. This is gonna suck. So I'm already taken out of it by the fact that this actor is dog shit. The entire time, too, like, going all the way back. And then they, like, killed Michael Keaton's Batman 36 times in what I could only assume was an insult to me, personally. I assumed they were like, oh, you wanted to see Batman? Cool, let's fucking kill him. Honestly, the only part of that entire movie I liked was Sarah Cow's Supergirl. And I even forgave her for having not blonde hair. Because, you know, whatever. But, like, even the reveal was stupid. Like, the other alternate version of Barry is the bad guy the whole time. So why was he the one who kicked Barry out of the time stream? Shut up. Okay. Yeah. Well, I have to wait for Goofy Back to do that. A World War Hulk adaptation is being seriously considered at Marvel. We talked about that last week. Sony is reportedly casting for the role of Miles Morales in an upcoming live Spider-Man project. Okay. I'm concerned. Because if Sony is casting Miles Morales in an upcoming live Spider-Man project, are they casting Miles for Spider-Man 4? Are they casting Miles for a Sony spin-off of Spider-Man?
So,
because I don't want it.
I'm assuming that this has to do with the tie-in, right, towards Spider-Man 4. Although, you know what? I'm just gonna go there. I'm gonna go with it's because of Spider-Man 4. Anything else, I'm not even gonna entertain that idea right now. I'm not going to entertain that idea. It has to be for Spider-Man 4. Because otherwise, what are we doing?
Jay Troses, it's crazy how The Suicide Squad was so much better than Suicide Squad. Bro, night and day.
Yeah, it was.
I don't even think The Suicide Squad was a phenomenal movie, but it was definitely a good movie. Like, I definitely enjoyed it. I've watched it multiple times. Like, It
was fun. It was a fun movie.
That's kind of my bar, right? Like, if I'll watch a movie again, not out of, like, sheer boredom, like, but if someone's like, yo, do you want to watch The Suicide Squad? I'm like, fuck yeah. All right. I'll watch that. That's a good sign for me. That means the movie was good. Now, granted, I also think Braveheart's a good movie, but I don't have 9 hours to watch another movie. Like, so I'm probably not going to do that.
Yeah, so
see the trailer? Good.
Right.
Oh, no,
Nah,
good.
so I enjoyed, Suicide Squad. I just thought it was just I thought the chick with the rat, the mice and all that stuff was dope. I
A rat
enjoyed
catcher?
that. Yeah,
I
enjoyed
love
that.
Peacemaker.
Peacemaker was fun. I never watched the series, by the way, which is I guess an indictment on me, but who cares? Like I just never had a desire to watch it.
Oh,
I heard
watch
it's not
Peacemaker.
bad. I heard it's not bad.
No, it's good. It's not bad. It's good. It's
good?
so
Okay.
dumb. It is so dumb fun.
Okay. Speaking of them, so let's switch gears. You got the boys up on the screen, so let's freaking talk about it, man.
Well, okay, before we do, can I just mention that Agatha, all along, it will be revealed who the true creator of the Darkhold is. It's Chthon. Shut the fuck up. Don't make it anything else, or I'm not going to watch this. I'm sorry, I'm going to watch it for free. Salem 7 are known as the Covenant of Chaos. Billy Kaplan is a boyfriend in the series. Yeah, okay. The series will lay the groundwork for Scarlet Witch's return. Of course it will, because they need to bring her back.
Yeah.
Hold on, quick DC news.
Oh, I DM'd you this like literally when we were talking. I don't think you saw it.
With this saying this now.
Okay.
Because that's awesome. That's so fucking cool. I'm like,
it is cool.
Think about what they thought. They're like, you know what? What if we did a Suicide Squad anime? But then what if we put them in a fucking high fantasy world? Bro. I'm in. They're gonna have an English fucking dub. Are you goddamn kidding me? Yeah, I'm in. Let's go. Suicide Squad get taken to a fantasy world. I'm so in. All right. So what were you saying?
When is that coming out?
Not soon enough. That's the damn answer.
That's fair. That's entirely fair.
Somewhere between this fucking travesty, Superman. You said something about DC you had for me?
No, that was it. The picture that you have up currently right now. That was what I wanted to talk about.
Ladies and gentlemen, DC news this week. It's a picture of Superman.
Superman.
We did it, everybody. Now let's go back to the boys.
Yeah, so the boys, well, I don't know if you guys have watched a lot. The most recent episode 4 of season 4 was probably one of the craziest episodes of the boys that I think that I've seen. And it wasn't wild in terms of just like, oh, we're out there. It was just more of Homelander was incredible. Homelander was incredible in this episode. I don't know if we want to talk spoilers, but Homelander is unhinged in this episode. He is deranged. He's an asshole, a jerk. And his portrayal of this character, once again, I'm trying to tiptoe around exactly what happened because I don't want to give away spoilers. But this may have been the best episode I've seen on this show in a long time.
I had no idea people didn't like the season of the boys.
Season 4? Oh, I've been seeing it all over the place. So I knew people didn't like it.
Why? What about this season do people not like? I don't understand.
No, the issue, I think it's more political than it's ever been before. And I'm just like, nah, it's really not. Like, you're actually incorrect on that entirely. Like, you're wrong. Like, the entirety of season 1 and season 2, bro, there is an opening to an episode where there is a radicalized gentleman who goes out and kills a soup that he thinks is a soup, but it's not actually really a soup because of what was going on from like a political standpoint, the message that was being pushed. This show has been like that for a long time. So if you are in the position where you're just like, well, I don't like this show because There's too much of a political agenda. There's too much right wing, hate. And first and foremost, shut up. They're making fun of both sides, bro. Right wing, left wing. Like they're making fun of both sides. It doesn't matter. You're just more mad because they're highlighting too much on the right wing, but they highlight a lot on the left. It's dumb.
If you think Homelander's an awesome character, we're in agreement.
Oh, he's a great character.
If you think Homelander is there are no Homelander is right t-shirts because Homelander is not Magneto.
No.
Like, Magneto was right. Homelander is a piece of shit.
Oh, yeah. Without question.
Like,
you love to hate him.
So, if you starting off with the boys and you're idolizing Homelander, and I do mean this from the bottom of my heart, right? Yeah. Straight up fucking die. Like, just like, you don't need to be around. Yeah. Like, you're not, like, watch, like, the character of Homelander, phenomenal. Like, great. The actor, nailing it. Like, he is truly a fucking sociopath. Mm-hmm. Love it to death. He is not to be idolized. If you idolize him, your continued existence is no longer required. Mm-hmm. I'm sure there's a train or a bridge somewhere near you. Make the decision. Be a man or a woman. Yeah. Because that's not, like, and by the way, exact same token, fucking Butcher is not to be idolized either. Yeah. Butcher is a fucking insane sociopath.
Right.
They're pieces of shit the entire way.
Yeah, 100%.
If you are seeing correlations, there's an old expression, very old as time. Every accusation is a confession of projection. Mm. If you're watching this show and you're like, hey, they're making fun of me. No, they're making fun of idiots. Mm-hmm. Learn, grow. Learn and grow. Like, learn and grow. Like, be a whole person.
Right.
You have the opportunity to grow. Like, oh shit, maybe that is. It's the same thing with South Park. I love South Park. It's like my favorite show of all time. If you find yourself agreeing with Cartman or Randy, they're the assholes and the idiots on the show. Mm-hmm. So whenever Cartman or Randy say something, if you're like, yeah, there's no space between. Mm-hmm. The entire South Park, Kathleen Kennedy put a chick in it, make her lame and gay. That's not what they had Kathleen Kennedy say. That's what they had Cartman as Kathleen Kennedy say. Mm-hmm. Whereas they will always go hard in the paint against Barbra Streisand, because fuck Barbra Streisand. They hate Barbra Streisand.
For whatever reason, but yeah.
But if you're looking at this and you're seeing a comparison, if you're watching The Boy, I fucking love this season. There's only one criticism I have, and it has nothing to do with the show. Sweet baby doll, Starlight, what did you do to your face?
Yeah.
What did you do? I'm not even saying you're not pretty. I'm not something happened and I'm so sorry. Because
it's a little sad. It's a little sad. It is.
It's not like, is she, what happened? Like, this is the kind of thing that happens after you survive a fire. Not a choice you make. Hey, you know, live your life. You're not here to impress anybody, but at the same time, neither am I, and you look fucking atrocious. So I'm sorry, it's not even fucking here. Here. Ugh. Ugh.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. That situation is sad. Also, I gotta say this, like, and maybe
that's not Ozempic. I'm sorry, good. Someone said Ozempic. I'm like, that's not Ozempic. Ozempic. You lose weight on Ozempic. You don't.
I don't really like her character this season. In all honesty, I think her character is kind of annoying. In my personal opinion, the whole thing between her and Firecracker, I could do without it.
I don't know, man.
I could do without it.
I don't know, man. They built that up real good for what happened in episode 4. I was like, yeah. Worst thing that happened is MM stepped in. I was like, no, let her kill her. Fuck it.
Yeah, no, they built it up. I just, once again, it's just one of those things where I'm just like, I don't care.
I will say,
and that's my thing.
I will say it's not talking about Democrats and Republicans in like any other way, because like by strictest definition, I'm a Republican. By like strictest definition, and that is by fiscal conservativeness. And that's all. That's the strictest definition. By like anything else, Democrat. Like by mostly it's because I'm like, shut the fuck up, do whatever you want. Like that's my entire like, just do whatever you want. Like don't be shitty. General rule. Strictest definition, Republican. I don't like spending money when we don't have to. On the other side, I completely support sending money certain places because there's reasons for it. There's reasons for that. Like, why are we sending money to another country? Perhaps it's because they'll owe us and it's a really good place to. Just gonna throw it like this, just theoretically. So when like they point out caricatures of Democrats and Republicans, they're not saying you voted, therefore this is it. They're finding the nths, right? They're finding the most ridiculous. Like there are Republicans that voted for Joe Biden last run because they're like, well, I can't have the filth of that MAGA group on me. And there are Democrats that voted for Trump last time around because they're like, you fucking pussies. Which has always been the truth. Like, Democrats historically have been fucking pussies, and Republicans have been loudmouth assholes. Like, that's just kind of how it always has been, right? And that you go no further than politics.
Yeah.
I don't see... We don't live in this world that they're portraying. Because we could never live in the world that this is portraying. Because there would never be, like, SWAT. It could never happen. Like, the second one person has superpowers, the entire world changes. It stops, like, the concept of money ceases to exist. The second I can teleport, we have a problem world. And it is because the rules that everybody follows no longer apply to me. There are some things, like there's an old Ricky Gervais quote from a movie, where it's like, well, if you don't believe in an afterlife or a God or a heaven or anything like that, why don't you go around, raping and killing as much as you want? And he goes, oh, I do. I rape and kill as much as I want, which is none, zero. I don't want to. It's not a thing I want to do. I'm not held back from doing shitty things out of fear. I'm held back from doing shitty things by not being a shitty fucking person. That said, if I could teleport, all the money in the world belongs to me right now. Like, I now have all the money. We're going to figure some shit out real quick. Right? Like, real Doom style. Like, oh, okay. So the premise is already ridiculous. And I do see the overlap. But to look at it and to, like, shit on... Like, it's getting a season 5. No one's stopping it. And this is the difference between, like, The Boys and The Acolyte. Anyone who's shit-talking The Boys right now, what are you going to do, cancel your Amazon Prime subscription? No.
Yeah, no.
You're not doing that. Yes, it is.
You still want that 2-day shipping. The 2-day free shipping.
Yeah. Good, cancel your Amazon Prime. You know, that thing you've had for the last 20 fucking years.
Oh, man.
They don't even make TV shows for Amazon Prime because they think people subscribe because of it.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't give a shit. Amazon Prime is just a free thing they get. They make TV shows so they can have sponsorship fucking deals. So they can put in, same reason Netflix does. So, like, spoilers, blow your mind on this one. Did you know that Audi was a sponsor of all 3 Iron Man movies?
Did not know that. Except for the fact that we saw the car. But, yeah.
Did you know they weren't a sponsor for Endgame? Which is why he didn't drive an Audi.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Product placement is very real in that they pay money to studios. Sometimes they pay money in giving them cars, which is a taxable donation to them, and the studios can do whatever they want with it. But sometimes they give, like, Doritos, Pepsi. If you see a brand that you recognize, McDonald's sponsored Loki. If you see a brand that you fucking recognize, it's because they paid to be there. Marvel didn't pay to allow McDonald's to be used. It costs nothing to get free generic cup. This is a Wendy's cup, but these cups are made 1,000,000 times over. Amazon doesn't give a shit. Like, no one's canceling this. No reviews matter for this. It's money. Everything is fucking money. Amazon is not making their goddamn money off of The Boys. They're making money to make The Boys so that they can continue to produce whatever they're producing right now. They don't give a shit if you like this or not. The Acolyte, on the other hand, negative reviews on The Acolyte mean people are not going to be, paying for Disney Plus? I already don't think anybody pays for Disney. I'm surprised every time someone says I have a Disney Plus subscription. I'm like, really? Still? Why? You've seen all those movies. You know, they have box sets for like $30 of all the Avengers movies, right? Kids, yeah. Kids. When you say I have Disney Plus because I have kids, I'm like, I get that. You're like, yeah. Honestly, it's better than leaving them out in the open with, like, other shit like YouTube.
I mean, I guess.
You know what? The people who are paying for Disney Plus that have kids, they're also probably not watching the fucking Acolyte. You know what I mean? Like,
guilty. Sorry.
I don't know. I didn't know there was any hate on this. It was crazy to me to hear that.
Nah, and like I said, we are what to say with hate, but apart from that, like episode 4 was really good. Homelander was amazing in that episode, and I think finding out the reason why he has this need for human approval was great. That was really good. That's some pretty damn good storytelling. Because it was a nice little twist. It was a nice little twist. It was simple, but it was a nice little twist.
So we know Butcher's not dying.
I think we confirmed that based on the last freaking episode. I was like, oh, okay. Also, I am now convinced that Huey, his mom, is not really there. I'm convinced now.
Oh.
The same hallucinations that Butcher is having, seeing flashbacks of his ex-wife, I feel like it's the same thing that's going on with you and his mom.
Wow, interesting. I don't know about that because I think his mom is being interacted with by a nurse or a doctor, but I'll go back and rewatch that. That's interesting. See, I just think that the compound V turned Butcher's cancer sentient. I think Butcher's tumor is sentient, and it's just fucking with him.
Yeah.
Because, like, Butcher's the one who killed it. The spoilers, because fuck you. Ezekiel. Like, it was Butcher. It wasn't some random thing. And he was about to die. So either Butcher still has powers, because he gave himself full Compound V, not Temp V.
Yep.
Or his cancer tumor is alive and protecting him so it can kill him? I don't know.
I have no idea. He blacked out, killed him. Like, you saw it.
Yeah.
You were like, oh, no, he
ripped him apart.
Yeah, like, he went in on him.
Yeah.
There's no way that's something that's, like, came out of his body and then did that. No, he did that.
I'm going to rewatch now because I like your idea that Huey's mom isn't there.
Yeah.
I feel like she's interacted with somebody, though. Who gave spoilers again, who gave his dad the V? Because I thought Huey didn't.
But that's the thing. That's why I feel like he did. Like, I feel like he's playing this part of, like, oh, his mom is like an you know, like how somebody has like an alter, like you want to do something, but there's like your alter ego is like suppressing that desire.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of what's going on with him. And I just thought it was kind of weird that he left, came back, and then we saw the V in the system. I'm like, I feel like, no, he did that. He did that. And somehow he's allowing his mind. Because the thing about it is, like, Butcher took the Temp V, and now he's having hallucinations. And then Yui also said the same Temp V, although not as much. And I just feel like some of the even the time when he was like yelling at her while sitting on the bench, there was nobody around. And I was just like, that was really weird. There was nobody there. So I just feel like he's not like, it's like he's having those same he's having similar hallucinations to somebody being there, like how Butcher is.
Did we know that Starlight had an abortion? Was that something we knew from previous seasons?
No, I think this definitely happened in between seasons. I'm assuming.
Also, I'll let you shit talk me forever. You leak medical fucking records of mine?
Oh,
you're done.
Yeah,
you're fucking done. Like,
Ross.
Yeah, like you. There's some lines. Like, you could say things, right? But like, if you maybe mention, like, I have a half brother and a half sister.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, if you want to shit talk me, I probably deserve it. If you're going to start bringing family, you're going to start bringing, like, not like private things, but like personal private things out in the open.
Yeah.
Like, just, and not even like, I did something wrong. You know? Like, like more like, did you know that Tony had a vasectomy? Yeah, well, I tell everybody that. But if I didn't tell everybody that, and you told everybody that, on site, like, hide. You know what I mean? Like, because it's not, there's not going to be a warning. There's not going to be a notice. You're not going to get a text message. I'm not going to tell you anything. One day, you're gonna see something, and you're never gonna see anything again. Like, and that's just it. So, like, I got where she came from with that. Like, I got that energy of like, oh no. And when she showed up, And that chick was like, "Oh, you ready to debate me?"
No,
I was like,
I'm ready to whoop your ass. Yeah.
Kill her on national TV. Kill her on national TV. Fuck do I care what other people say? Kill, like the people watching that particular show? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, she was giving her the hands, man. She went to town. Cause that abortion thing, that was over the top. And then that last part is when she was just like, all right.
Yes, Sherry, Real Housewives spoilers.
Like
it's MILF Manor 2 spoilers. You know, now they're dating the sons and the dads. MILF Manor 2. Yeah, great season.
All right.
We have drifted so far from God's light, Goofy. Like we are currently somewhere in Alpha Centauri.
Yeah,
I
don't know where we are. We're far. We're somewhere far. So yeah, love The Boys. The Boys is great. Looking to, I would say I'm gonna do some more Boys content, but we may have to wait until the season's done and then we'll talk about some stuff.
We should honestly start talking about The Boys every week now.
We should at this point.
I didn't realize that we both we were.
Yeah.
But like I never realized like we don't really have we're not really talking about anything.
No, we're not.
We don't really like we like comics, we like Marvel, I like DC sometimes.
Yeah.
But like we might as well talk about The Boys.
We might as well. It happened. I mean, we're watching the episodes. I mean, we're there.
Yeah.
So we might as well talk about
Let's
it.
go.
Why not?
Every week. So let's do it right now. Episode 1, great. Episode 2, phenomenal. Episode 3, little slow. Episode 4,
episode 2,
slow but good.
Episode 2, I couldn't recover, bro. I could from that one scene. I couldn't recover.
Anti-Valor, you know how I feel.
So,
not about the show, but about Gerard Way.
Desi told me about Umbrella Academy, which I never knew about before. He was just like, you have to watch. And I'm like, bro, there's like season 4 coming out. How the hell am I going to catch up on all of this now? He was like, yo, you have to watch it. And I was like, I don't, but I will.
For those who are unaware, Umbrella Academy is a great show. Yeah. And I'm happy that it brings enjoyment to a lot of people. I, however, have a sworn nemesis in Gerard Way.
Why a sworn nemesis?
And he is probably unaware of it. And I don't mean it in any meaningful way. But it is completely from a state of grape and strawberry, because I'm fucking jealous. Because I'm gonna take you guys back to the year of our Lord 2003. Battle of the Bands in Paramus, New Jersey. We're a small band named My Chemical Romance lost in the Battle of the Bands finals to another small band called Jaded by Six. My band. And then they got rid of their drummer, got a real drummer, and got a fucking record deal. So I'm mad. Not that I care, because that's not a career thing. I was just a singer. I was just doing it because it was fun. And like,
I think the more interesting part is that you were the singer. I mean, I feel like that's the one that that's the comment that just floored me, was that you were the singer.
Hurtful, but okay. I also played guitar, but I was the lead singer.
No, I mean, I would take it back, but why?
I would take it back, but your tears taste so good. Hurtful.
It's a very interesting fact that I wasn't aware of.
Lead singer of a band.
lead center of a band, and then you played guitar. Okay?
Rock music.
I'm going to need a sample. All right.
What do you want? You want to sing one of my songs?
Yeah, whatever you.
I gotta remember that shit.
whenever you, I would say
we had a song called Angel Eyes.
Whenever you're sober, but I would say probably when you're high is better. But
yeah. I'll hit you up. No, I can't sing anymore, man. It's been years. I'll still fuck around, but like, oh god, no, just pack a day, man. It's ruined my voice.
That's fair. That's fair. That's entirely fair.
No, but like even then, like it doesn't matter. It was Battle of the Bands. Who gives a shit? It doesn't matter. I'm happy he had success. It was just we stopped them. Like it was like unanimous. Like, yeah, fuck you. My Chemical Romance, and then like every now and then I'll hear like people they'll be like Black Parade. I'm like, fuck you. Fuck. The song is good. Fuck. Like, so that's my personal beef with Gerard Way. Means nothing. I'm happy he's successful, but god damn it. If he had beaten us, I'd be like, he was good then, he's good now. They had a shit drummer. They replaced their drummer and they went places. Our drummer's great. He stopped drumming.
Well, I mean, damn. That is all.
I'm going to live in the past, sir. I'm choosing to. Back in the day when Star Wars was good. 1977. No.
You mean the year the first
decade before I was born. No, but you should watch Umbrella Academy. It's truly fucking phenomenal. I have watched it, like dropping the mask. Like it's a great show. You should watch it.
Yeah, I'm gonna get into it. I need to start doing some more watching of old things or older stuff, because I there's a lot of people that now you've added Peacemaker onto my list. Umbrella Academy. I'm gonna have a lot of time after Deadpool to watch a lot of things and read a bunch of comics. Actually, there's a lot of really good. There's a lot of comics I'm following right now. There's Wolverine's Blood Hunt. That's interesting. The Blood Hunt main storyline though is a little weird to me. So for our comic book readers, I'm not a huge fan of the main storyline of Blood Hunt. Just Blade is just weird. Like I don't understand why Blade is this way. It just seems out of character to me.
I haven't read it. Did you have a video on it? Yeah, you did. I
have a video. I don't have a video on the main storyline. I have a video on the the Wolverine ones. I'm gonna make a video on the second issue of Black Panther, because the second issue is actually really cool, because they talk a little bit more about like the mythology, and they do kind of tie in the whole Blood Hunt storyline, but the mythology with like, there's like Khonshu, and you get to see Bast and a couple of the other gods, like the Egyptian gods. They're there, like Pita, which I'm probably saying that name wrong. Issue, like there's a couple of like some really cool things that are going on there, but the whole main storyline of like Blade. So the point of Blade taking over who was previously known as the Culture, and now whatever Blood Coven that he's leading, and I don't. It just, to me, it's just I don't. I'm once again. I don't want to give away spoilers. I don't know if I believe that Blade is this. It seems it lacks strategy what he's doing, and it seems like he's just out for. He's like shooting from the hip, and I don't really see the strategy behind it, and it seems off character to me. But once again, I'm talking in code because I don't want to give away spoilers, just in case you
give away spoilers.
Just in case you want to read it.
Good. I want to give him a reason to read it. Tell him how cool shit happened. I mean, that's up to you. I'm not going to force you to.
No, I mean, so ultimately, the main storyline of Blood Hunt is really this. It's like Blade is. So they take over. There's a couple characters that have like dark force energy. So Blade is now the leader. Well, they don't know this yet, But it basically starts off where like a bunch of characters or a couple of characters that have dark force energy, they pretty much basically get sacrificed, and that sends the entire the entire world into darkness because they're blocking the sun. So they're using those individuals that have dark force energy to create like this like portal that is pretty much like a shadow over the entirety of the world. So and they're like they call it like sun death, right? So that's what's happening. The only area that's not affected by this darkness right now is Latveria. Surprise, because Doom is a badass. So therefore, that's the
Doom's
only place
powering it with the tears of people who don't accept him.
That's literally the only place that's not affected by it currently right now. The Avengers are trying to kind of figure some stuff out, why this is happening, and they end up getting attacked by this group that used to call themselves the Culture, which I don't remember the characters' names, but
it's a dope ass name.
Yeah, but pretty much basically a lot of them basically kind of get the upper hand against the Avengers. Thor, Scarlet Witch get captured, so does Black Panther. Blade ends up visiting Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange and Clea were trying to like cast a spell that would eliminate all the vampires. Blade basically goes there to make sure that that's exactly what they were doing, and when he finds out that that's what they were doing, he then like stabs Doctor Strange, bites him. Doctor Strange becomes a vampire, and in order to not be controlled by that lust, Clea puts him into like a little bit of a trance and is kind of control him, and then Doctor Strange is in his astral form, right? So that's kind of like the whole story. That's kind of part of the story.
In his astral form, go out in daylight?
I don't know, actually.
Also, Blade can't make vampires.
Well, so there's something that's changed here because he's turned other people into vampires now. He bit Doctor Strange, and Doctor Strange became a vampire.
It's kind of wishy-washy, but like historically, because Blade is a daywalker, he can't, like, he's basically, for lack of a better word, he's sterile.
Okay.
Like, he doesn't, most of Blade canon, he can reproduce, he can have a kid, and that kid will also be a daywalker, can also be a daywalker.
Yeah.
Nice, Jay. But he can't bite someone and turn them into a vampire historically because he doesn't have that. He has none of the weaknesses and all of the strengths of a vampire.
Yep.
And one of the things is he has no sire. So because he has no sire, no one has sired him. Deacon Frost is not his sire. Deacon Frost bit his mom. His mom died. Yep. He was born. He's connected to Deacon Frost, but he doesn't have a sire. Okay. So that's weird to me that he turned someone. Yeah, maybe that's the story. Maybe that's the arc, but he shouldn't be able to turn people into vampires. Or else, like, 100% of Blade's life is just going to be making his friends vampires, right? Like,
yeah. I mean, and
like, why is wait, go off. I want to show you something.
Yeah, I mean, so that's pretty much basically kind of a lot of the story is kind of like unraveling from that, like basically him being the leader of the Blood Coven, the previous culture, and he's basically utilizing these other people to kind of fuel them. So like he's like Thor's blood is like he's draining Thor's blood. Scarlet Witch is captured. I'm not entirely sure what her purpose is yet. And he's using Black Panther, who's also now been turned into a vampire. He's using Black Panther to try to find a hidden temple that is in Wakanda, that is a part of like his major planet, I believe is like in Atlantis, so he's gonna have to go deal with Namor. So that's all happening. And the blood hunt is essentially Blade looking for his daughter, because his daughter is the only one that can actually stop him. So that's like the blood hunt. And that's pretty much basically what was shown in the main storyline. But there's like a bunch of like tie-in stories that are going on. Like there's a Wolverine version, there's a Wolverine blood hunt storyline. There's Black Panther. There's like Dracula. With Dracula's storyline is basically just kind of covering his daughter. And like Dracula's trying to protect, which is funny. Like Dracula is a vampire, but he's not aligned with Blade, so he's actually against Blade, and he's trying to protect his daughter Brielle, because if he gets rid of his daughter, then he has free reign to do whatever the f he wants to do at that point. But like I said, it's just really out of character for me to see Blade sort of act this way and be like as ruthless as he's being, and also even teaming up with certain people that you wouldn't expect, like the Blood Coven. Like you wouldn't expect them to team up with those people. So it's an interesting story. I don't like the main storyline. I don't think it's as interesting. I find that the tie-in stories have been significantly better. Like Wolverine's Blood Hunt story is dope. It's kind of fun to me because like it starts off with him like in a random place in like Barstow is what they call it. There's vampires that are going after him and attacking him. He teams up with this girl named Night Guard, who is a vampire who used to hunt vampires, and then they're teaming up together to fight all these like merc soldiers and National Guard people that have also been turned into vampires as well. And it's like a bloodbath. Like Wolverine's chopping off people's heads. The Night Guard chick, like named Louise, like she's also dope. That she has like a dope ass UV cannon gun. I'm like, this crap is fun. You know what I mean? Like this crap to me is fun. Black Panther's story is interesting because it's also piggybacking off the fact that he's exiled from Wakanda, because Wakanda is a democracy now, and he's not king of Wakanda anymore, but he's still the protector of Wakanda because he still has the heart-shaped herb, and he's Black Panther. So that's kind of interesting. That story overall. So there's interesting stories that are happening that are tie-ins, but the main storyline to me is just not that interesting overall. That is all.
I'm gonna read not the main story then. Also,
I wouldn't read the main story.
Put up a tweet from a long time ago.
Captain, do any Avengers have any pressing business?
No. No. They're so, just because you hear Wesley Snipes in the beginning, right? Hey, you motherfuckers gonna help me fight the vampires? And then it gets like, please, there are so many. No. It's always so fun to me. It's always so fun to me that like I will generally accept, right, that like sometimes people are fucking busy. Yeah. Like there's a lot of crime. There's so much crime in the desert. Like there's a lot of crime. So I get that sometimes Captain America is busy. I get that sometimes not everybody can help. Like I get that. But like it's just Blade. Nobody, like, it is just Blade. Like, Punisher really likes killing mobsters in, like, New York. That's his thing. He's like, the mob in New York. That's all he cares about. Like, that's it. Blade is just like, the planet's vampires. I am the only one fighting them. And everybody else is like, yep, that is true. Can you help? You got it. There are like millions of vampires. Yeah, but like, you got it. You telling me, Bruce Banner, you couldn't make like an anti-vampire fucking... Tell me Iron Man, like you Blade, like that's the one thing that Marvel movies did well, was like everybody felt like they were getting upgrades from Tony Stark a little bit here and there. Yeah. Like they weren't all getting Iron Man suits, which is like probably because they shouldn't. Like like Thor doesn't need one. Captain America probably is cool without it. But like Hawkeye could probably have used an Iron Man suit. Right? Like Hawkeye could have gotten like maybe a jetpack.
Hawkeye needed a little bit of an upgrade. Just a tad bit.
Yeah. Just I always like the idea of like Hawkeye pulling arrows out of dead bodies. Like
I mean, The man's gonna run out of arrows eventually.
Dude, these are tungsten carbide, man. I gotta fucking like I can't. Do you know how many? Each arrow is like $500. Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh man.
Gambit, like at the very end of the day, you understand that Gambit, he spends like conservatively $17 a month on playing cards. Right? Like how much is a debt? You think he's getting the best playing cards? He's getting whichever ones are the easiest to throw, which are probably the shittiest ones.
Yeah.
So
easily.
He's getting like 3 packs for $1. Like he's not getting Bicycle. He's getting like Steve's playing cards. Sometimes in a pinch, he's buying a pack of Pokemon cards. You know, he's just like, I need these 12 cards. Like, and that's playing cards. Like, if that dude just like picked up a bunch of rocks, if he was like on a beach, just imagine sand. Imagine he grabbed a handful of sand and was like, explosion. He's just explosions everywhere. Like,
I mean, homeboy charged Wolverine's claws. He charged a freaking staff that was inside of his body. I mean, he got the juice.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot this one. I just wanted to show this. This has nothing to do with anything. But I already clicked on it. So this is what MJ looked like in the first Spider-Man game. It's like, all right, she looks like a young lady, like with goals and aspirations. And this is what she looks like in the newest Spider-Man game, Spider-Man 2.
She's aged quite a bit.
Ugly. No, ugly is the word. She's just ugly.
She's aged.
And I need you to know that if you look like this, you're also ugly. But it's okay. Because I'm ugly, but I can grow a beard. And that's good. Like, I don't need to... Like, I can grow a beard. I can lose weight. I can have money. I can dress well. If you look like this, don't... Like, there's so many things you can do to fix yourself.
She went from Mary Jane to Aunt May in like just 2 years. How long were these games apart? 3 years, 4 years?
I think
years?
the storyline took place in a matter of 3 years. In difference, but the actual game was like 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, she went from Mary Jane to
Mary Jane Watson.
To Aunt May.
Like, okay. To like
Aunt May.
Just some ugly bitch.
Then again,
and the reason I'm even saying this is because they showed a picture of Jean Grey in the new Wolverine. Avert your eyes. If you have young children present, don't let them. Well, also, first of all, don't do that. Not here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But I'm gonna give you a moment to look away, and I will tell you when I remove it.
Personally, I've already seen it, so I'm gonna look away.
2, 1. This is what they did to Jean Grey. I wish I would zoom in, but I can't. Look at this. This is not random person on the street. This isn't aunt at Walmart. Right? This isn't like high school guidance counselor. This is the person Wolverine and Cyclops are fighting over.
Feels like they gotta be a better decision.
Beauty is only skin deep, but ugly is to the bone. Now, I'm not so petty as to say that I won't buy or sell a game because I won't pick up a game because of how ugly they made a random character. I'm not. I'm much pettier than that. But I that doesn't particularly matter to me. That said, if this is what Jean Grey is, I cannot believe that the people making this game care. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I hear you.
And Insomniac kind of went that way with Spider-Man 2. It was a fun game to play, but the story was kind of meh. Some people liked it, some people didn't. I enjoyed it. It was fine, but like it felt like they were ripping off a little bit from Ultimates and a little bit from Made Up Nothingness. Best part was this is the best part of that. You got to beat the shit out of her. She gets a shitty Mary Jane. She gets a symbiote, and you just get to kick the shit out of her for like a good 20 minutes too. So it's like really cathartic. You're like, oh, okay, ugly. My girlfriend went from like hot to ugly. Well, I can't do that in real life. That's atrocious. Like I would never beat someone who loves me. That not only is it just a shitty thing to do, it's like an absolute like breach of trust and like makes you a monster of a person. However, in mythical, magical fucking Spaceland, like Grand Theft Auto, I can kill every hooker I fuck. They can't stop me. It's not something I want to do in real life, but it's something I get to do, and that's the benefit. So beating her up was the best part of Spider-Man 2 because she's ugly. Beating ugly people up is good. Jesus Christ. That's it. I just wanted to remind you that this is an option for things. Yeah. Okay, anyway, off to you, Goofy. I said all the things I needed to talk about today. What do you got?
Let me see. There's like, I have DMs. We'll have to check those at a later particular date. No, so no, we covered most of the things already. We talked about Blade. We talked about the boys. We talked about Miles. You brought that up. There's just one thing. So apparently Miles Morales is supposed to appear in Avengers 5.
Yeah.
So
Quip it.
Are we getting a actual like Miles in his Spider-Man suit, do you think, or are we getting just Miles Morales being around?
If it's an Avengers movie, it's going to be a Spider-Man suit. If it's in a Spider-Man movie, we're probably just getting to that point. Or we might get a multiverse version, or we might, I mean, I love Miles, man. Like, I love him so much. I love him so much that I defend the Miles Morales Spider-Man game. I don't know that they're making a Miles movie. I know they're casting a Miles for an upcoming Spider-Man movie. If they're casting him for Spider-Man 4, great. If they're making a Miles Morales live-action Spider-Man movie, Sony's making it. It's gonna suck. It's gonna suck because Sony sucks. Like, that's it. We don't have to have a conversation. We don't need to, well, maybe, no. They suck at making movies. They suck. They can't do it. Craven's gonna suck because it already sucks.
Craven is great. What are you saying? You're not excited about his last hunt? Oh, that's right.
I don't think Sony understands that in order to tell stories about Spider-Man villains without Spider-Man, you cannot tell heroic stories, and they don't have the balls to tell villain stories. I would watch the ever-loving fuck out of a Venom movie where Venom is fucking murdering people. I would watch and then I would watch the fuck out of the Carnage movie where Venom has to stop murdering people to murder Carnage so there's more people he can eat. I would watch a Morbius movie about a man struggling to control his feast where the main bad guy is himself.
Okay.
I would watch a Craven movie where Craven is just straight up debilitating populations of wildlife. Because these are what the characters are.
Yeah.
Craven is not you can't take a villain and make them heroic for the sake of telling a story.
Right.
You can make the villain understandable. Like a Magneto standalone movie is not going to be Magneto time traveling to Auschwitz, right? A Magneto standalone movie is going to be Magneto murdering bigots in the street. And I'm like, yes, that is what I would watch from a Magneto movie. I don't need... Magneto is not a good guy. He is a villain with a very, very good motivation. Sony's not going to do that.
Okay.
Sony's going to make garbage movies for garbage people with garbage people and then confuse them. Anyone who accepts the casting for Miles Morales, I'm telling you this now, don't expect to have a career in Hollywood after. Unless Marvel is specifically involved. Marvel Studios, not the word Marvel. If you take a casting, it's not your big break. It's your one and only shot to fail. Mm-hmm. And Miles isn't big enough that a Sony... Like, everybody knows Sony is tainted. There's nobody in the world that's like there's nobody left that's going to see Kraven. They have to trick people. They're going to have to trick people. They're going to have to be like, oh, there's still Spider-Man stuff. No, it's not. And even now, it's not going to work. They have failed 3 times consecutively. There's no chance.
Yeah, I agree.
Don't take it. If anyone does know, like they did Cloud Galaxis or Gore the God Butcher, I'll stop watching comic movies.
Gore the God Butcher. Let's move on from that one, please.
That's another thing that bothers me. You know, so I've said many times, like, I don't like the sequel Star Wars movies. I like the first one, Force Awakens. I didn't particularly like... Last Jedi was the thing that I was like, oh, Star Wars is dead and I don't need to watch anymore. And then Rise of the Skywalker was just abysmal. Just morbid curiosity. I was like, I'll watch it with friends later.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh God, we mystery side, we shit on it for like hours. We paused that movie like 10 times just to be like, did you fucking see that? That was insane. All right. Like someone wrote that. Because shitting on a movie is great, especially when you pay nothing for it. Like when you give when no money is involved to shit on something, that's the best feeling in the world. It's like a free meal is great. But a meal that somebody, like, there's a difference between getting a free meal and, like, someone else paying for your meal. It's not this, you know what I mean? Like, if a bartender gives you a drink and they're like, it's on the house, you're like, oh, thanks, man. But if somebody orders you a drink, you're like, oh, all right, fuck yeah, I'm in. Like, it's the same thing. Like, if you watch something, if you pay to see something, you're like, okay, I want to get my money's worth. If you don't pay to see it, that's great. If it costs somebody money that I'm watching it, oh, beautiful. So the Star Wars sequels, right? They can never do them again. That's the problem. Like, they can't be like, you know what? We could probably tell. Theoretically, they could. Right? Like a sane human being could take over Star Wars. Like a Star Wars fan can take over Star Wars. Not to say all Star Wars fans are sane human beings, but like starting off with somebody who likes Star Wars would probably be a good fucking start for making Star Wars content. But someone could take over and be like, we're going to do a sequel series starting after, and 7, 8, and 9 are not canon. They were a legend story.
Okay.
They could even keep similar characters. They could just tell good stories. The problem is they can't, though, right? Like, they can never do Gore the God Butcher again. Not even in a reboot. Like, it is permanently fucking ruined.
Yeah. Because
they can redo Galactus because we have been conditioned to understanding that there is a difference between Marvel movies and movies with Marvel characters. We can see a good Galactus. We saw a great Spider-Man, right? Like we saw good characters. They can never undo what they did to Thor. They can never undo what they did to the Eternals, right? Like they can be like, fuck everything, Secret Wars, new universe, we'll figure out some new storylines and stuff. That's fine, but it will always exist the fact that like a terrible telling of a story is always going to be there.
Yep.
Somehow Palpatine returned is a part of Star Wars for the rest of history. Jar Jar Binks is a part of Star Wars for the rest of history. They can retell all of the Star Wars movies completely. They can reboot every single one of them. And then, like, update some things that could be, you know, done. Even the original trilogy, could, like, there's some things that could have been done better. They can't do that with Marvel. It's too soon. Like, 30 years from now, we might get a Gore the God Butcher storyline when I'm so fucking 70. You know? Like... Well, I'm dead. What am I? I'm not gonna make it. I'm dead. I'm already gonna be dead. Like, I'm dead at 55. No, like, I just can't. Like, it sucks. That's the thing that bugs me the most. That's why I'm so loud about why I hate things. We're never getting there's never going to be a telling of She-Hulk that's going to undo what they did with She-Hulk. There's never going to be a telling, like they could make a second season of She-Hulk and it could be great, but there's always going to be that first season of She-Hulk. There's always going to be that first season there's always, they can't do Secret Invasion now. You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
they had an opportunity to tell a story that fans want to see and they didn't do it right. They did it terribly and now it's ruined. It's ruined because by the time they ever get around to retelling it, if they had the balls, they'd just do it right now. If they had the balls, they'd be like, we're sorry about that Secret Invasion. We're doing it different right now.
Okay.
But, like, it's never... That's why I get so mad. That's why the Eternals bothers me so much. That's why these things that don't matter, because, like, I've been waiting my entire fucking life to watch an Inhumans story.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I've been waiting my entire life to see Black Bolt, and then we got the fucking Inhumans TV show, and I'm like, oh, it's awful. And because it's awful, it will always be awful. I don't know. Bugs me. I'm just running through this to see if anything is... reshoots end for Captain America on June 26th. That's 4 days from now. Midnight Sun's got a writer. Really, this has been a dead fucking week. There's nothing left. There's no Marvel news.
That's it.
There's never DC news. The Boys is it. And then we like the Acolyte, but fucking who cares? Like,
yeah. That's it. All right.
Fuck it.
Well,
nah.
It was good to be here.
It's a little like, unfortunately, we got to do 2.5 hours because the things we love decided not to give us anything to talk. We tried. We tried real hard, guys.
We did. We got. Listen, this is impressive. We got to 2.5 hours. Remember, impressive.
We started with a 20-minute conversation about sports, and then you had a 10-minute conversation about a comic. And I went on a slight rant. I don't even remember what I ranted about. It was just like Fugue stated. We tried our best. DC Comics haven't been good yet. Like, it's hard to talk about nothing.
Right.
And right now there's nothing.
Right.
Like, there's nothing right now. The best thing I could tell you about anything is that this is what Jean Grey looks like. Boo! Scared ya.
Yeah, please take that off the screen immediately.
Imagine you're in a Target and this person approaches you.
All right, then. Actually, in Target, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it in Target.
And then she says, I am the Phoenix.
That's what I say, bush.
Yeah.
Oh.
The problem is incest. JJ said since Jeff Johns took over, I haven't liked much of DC. It's weird because he's one of my favorite writers. DC has the same pitfalls that Marvel has. Generally speaking, this is how DC Comics works. How many Batman stories can we tell at once? Right? And then what's the next multiverse crossover event we can do? That's the flowchart of DC events. Jeff Johns is a good writer. The problem is, the same thing with corporate America, same thing in everything in life. You get promoted until you suck. Mm-hmm. And that's why there's so many shitty managers. Because shitty managers aren't regional directors. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like, you can, and there's such a small pool of people who could even begin to take over as, like, lead writer for an entire fucking comics series that, like, you're more likely going to be wrong than right every time you hire somebody. Yeah. Bendis is another one. Bendis is the opposite. Bendis is, like, really good in, like, big picture things, but, like, he's not great in small stories. Like, if you give Bendis like, there are runs he's done or he's worked with other people to do that have been phenomenal, but, like, the more things Bendis is in control over, the better, because he has good, like, he can see the forest real well, but when it comes to the trees, he kind of, like, he's like, oh, you know what I'm gonna try? I'm gonna try this, and it never fucking works. All right, I tried to get us a little bit longer, but we're done. Say goodnight. Like,
bye, guys.
Good night, everybody. I'm required by law to say that if you like and subscribe this video, you will have good luck in your next life. I don't know about this life. I can't speak for that one. But if you made it this long, why? Like, the stream I get, you know, our 2 viewers on Kick and our somewhere in the 17 viewer range on Twitch. Like, I get it. We do no promotion. We do once a week and we're fucking lit the entire time. But, like, if you're watching this on YouTube and you're seeing this conversation on YouTube, why? I love you, but why?
I really appreciate it. However,
honestly, you're the real G. You know what? A slight gift for you guys who waited this long. Here, everybody. Savage Lands Rogue, so you can wipe the fucking disgust out of your mouth. Savage Lands Rogue. What a wonderful, wonderful way to end. Goodbye.